Hello history buffs and welcome back to the channel. Today I have a super exciting announcement and I have been working on this for months. I'm sorry for keeping it from you, but now that it's ready, I can't wait to share it with all of you. Some of you may or may not know this, but I used to be a teacher and I always found that when it came to history, that's when the children became disinterested because it was quote unquote boring. However, at the end of the school day, it was expected we read to the class, and as some of them were struggling with history, I would recount the tales of the kings and queens in the Tudor era, but make them more fun and less stuffy. I would obviously tailor the language depending on what year group I taught. You wouldn't tell the story the same way to a year 2 as you would a year 6. But I found that even my older children were requesting these Tudor stories. So it's not the fact that children find history boring, it's just that the education system in the UK is heavily flawed, and subjects like history are just being tarred with the boring brush, because it's being taught by adults who don't enjoy history. Which is fair enough, because I can't particularly say I enjoy geography, although what doesn't help is that the teachers have very little control over what topics are taught in history. With that in mind, and now having a platform where I can share my passion and knowledge, I am super excited to announce that I have written and now published a children's book that aims at getting children interested in history. And as we all know, King Henry VIII and his 6 wives is the gateway for many into the world of history. So it just kind of made sense to start here. This book will make such a good Christmas present for any children you have in your life. Whether it's your children, a niece, a nephew, mine loves it, a cousin, your dog's best friend, owner's cousin twice removed. The book is available on Amazon, and I shared an early copy of the book to one of my friends who is still teaching, and she said to me that what she loves about this book is that it is a non-fiction book, meaning that it is factual, but it portrays itself as a fiction book, so it toes the line between the two genres, making it fun and engaging as a storybook. But the text is factual. The pictures are factual. She has read it to her year 3 class and they love it. And because the book follows a rhyming couplet scheme, it can also be used during EMAs, which are early morning activities we do for our children when they first enter schools, or during a literacy lesson to see if children can identify where the rhyming couplets are. A lot of the time as teachers, we have to plan for children's misconceptions. What is something that, going into this topic, a child might think that is wrong, that may affect their learning? So I have done my best to try and make the pictures as historically accurate as possible, so that when a child is exposed to my book, and potentially even Tudor history for the first time, they aren't loaded with a pile of misconceptions, which is what can sometimes happen when you watch historical fiction, like The Tudors, and even Wolf Hall isn't perfect. This book is written by a teacher, for teachers and parents who are helping to consolidate their children's learning at home, which unfortunately not enough parents are doing, as some see that all the learning must happen within a classroom and aren't consolidating with their children at home. Not all consolidation has to be questioning or even homework. Reading or consuming content related to the subject can act as consolidation, which is why, again, I've created this book. It can be used by teachers during story time and parents for a bedtime story, or even on a cozy Sunday afternoon. What I've also included at the back of the book is the section of the UK national curriculum that this book adheres itself to, so you know where in your children's learning it slots in. For those outside of the UK, the national curriculum is written by our government and it dictates what children should be taught within the classroom and at what age. I'm quite lucky with where I live in the UK and the schools that I've taught at that Tudor history has always come under the local area because of the rich history we have at sites such as Hampton Court and Woking Palace, and Guildford and Windsor Castle. I have videos on those local history sites, by the way, if you want to learn more about the area. It also includes comprehension questions. When I was working in a school, we used to call these Vipers questions. However, not all school calls it that, hence why I've named them as comprehension questions. The acronym Vipers stands for Vocabulary, Inference, Predict, Explain, Retrieval, and Sequence or Summarize. Now, I know not all schools use Vipers, which is why I've named them comprehension questions, but every school and parent, when reading with a child, should be engaging with comprehension questions. And Vipers just give you all of the varieties that you need to make sure that your child understands the text. It's one thing to be able to read the text, but it's another thing to understand it. And there's always a big push in schools to focus on reading and critical thinking. And with the increase of screens, this is a skill that is in decline. Comprehension of text is a crucial skill for children, significantly impacting their academic success and overall development. Reading comprehension is the ability to understand and interpret text, which is a key skill as a historian. It's also the foundation for all learning. It involves not just decoding words, but also grasping their meaning and integrating them into a coherent understanding of the material. This skill is vital for engaging with and learning from text, making it a prerequisite for academic achievement across subjects. So it's important not just for history. Comprehension is closely linked to language development. Children who comprehend what they are reading are better equipped to expand their vocabulary and improve their language skills. Engaging with diverse texts helps children encounter new vocabulary and sentence structures, enhancing their overall communication abilities, and research indicates that strong reading comprehension skills are associated with better performance in school and beyond. Once a child can understand a text, they then have to be able to communicate in written form, which is why I've also included a sentence stem under the questions in green to help your child practice their writing. Using the I think because, this gives children the opportunity to collect and process their thoughts and help articulate why they think this and what evidence they can find from the text to help them back up their point. And that's where I'm going to leave this video. Thank you for watching it till the end. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. I hopefully have placed a QR code on the screen to a link for my book, and hopefully I would have also placed links in the description box below. If you do decide to support me and purchase my book, then please know that I really, really appreciate it, and I appreciate you. So thank you so much in advance. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm assuming if you're watching this video, then you know what I'm about and that this isn't your first video. Otherwise, please go watch some of my other content because you really are missing out. And as always, have a wonderful day. Bye.